Hello everyone, it's been a really long time. I just wanted to come on and do a case. It's been really pulling at me to do the map and look at the chart, and that is for the disappearance of Kiely Rodni. But before I get into that, if you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe and all that sort of stuff. I never say that, and I should, because I need more subscribers. For those lovely friends and family out there of mine, Bear is doing well. We're managing on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis, but it's hard. Cancer sucks. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're going to have a look at the disappearance of Kiely. So this was just something I was doing a little bit of research and seeing where to look. So first of all, let's have a look at the chart for 12:33 on the 6th of August, which was the last time she was spoken to at a party at Prosser Campground. So let's have a look. Okay, so here's the chart, 12:33, 6th of August. Now, Kiely went to a party with hundreds and hundreds of people, and at 12:33 vanished into thin air. People don't just vanish into thin air. So what can we see about this? So the first thing that is pretty easy to note is the ascendant here at 27 degrees of Taurus, which is basically a degree away from Algol. So and Mars as well is right on top of that ascendant in Taurus. So I'm seeing there's something to do with the head. That's initially something to do with the head. But when we see Algol, Algol actually represents alcohol as well. Algol is another word for alcohol. So that's an interesting little tidbit. Algol also represents fire, so we just should keep that in mind as well. But the main thing that I can see here, so Taurus is the ruler of Kiely, which indicates Venus being Kiely. Venus is at 23 degrees of Cancer, sitting in the 3rd house. Just going to take that away and put a line under there. Sitting in this 3rd house here of being with friends nearby to where she was previously, which was at the campground. Okay, so that's showing us that she was with friends at that point. Now, when we're looking at the 3rd house and friends, we're looking at Mercury as well, and that's in the 5th house, which is parties. So, there she is with friends in the 5th house at a party. Now, there's a couple of things that stand out. I'm going to just delete these. So the co-ruler of a missing person is the moon, and the moon is at 24 degrees of Scorpio. It's opposing Mars here, and it doesn't look very friendly, to be honest. But more interestingly, is that it is very close in orb to this Venus here. So there's a connection there to the moon. Now, not only that, it actually forms a grand trine to Neptune in the 11th house of groups of people, and then back to Venus, which is Kiely. So here we have a situation where Initially I thought she's gone in her car and she's gone into the water. That was my first feeling, like there's a little bit of water going on in here, and even what I'm pointing to is a water trine. So there's something about the water. I think the phone is in the water. I'll just say that straight out. But what you see when you see a grand trine like this being so close, 25, 23, 24 degrees, is someone that is in a situation to do with drugs or alcohol, being this Neptune here, that they can't get out of, that they're in trouble. The moon is in the 6th house of health, so I think something has gone wrong. Now, something else that indicates that is this Uranus here at 18 degrees, pretty closely conjunct this Mars at 21 degrees. So things happen quickly. So something's happened quickly. Now, not just that, this Mars is actually forming an aspect to Venus as well. Now, Mars in a chart is a male, and it's a boyfriend. And that Mars there is the ruler of the 7th house in Scorpio. So I'm not accusing anybody or anything, but I'm just saying that's what a chart always says, and that is that this, to me, represents a male or possible boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. And maybe something happened to her and he tried to help. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying there's something going on there. And it's in the 12th house, this area here, which is hidden secrets. And then we can match this up to the Neptune as well. 21 to 25 degrees. So we've got a kite here with Mars and Uranus, basically, which is something quick that's happened, pointing to the moon in the house of health, trining Neptune, which is drugs and alcohol, and the ascendant itself is drugs and alcohol. I'll just change the colour, so, oops. Okay, so another aspect, have a look at all the degrees, 23, 24, 24, 26, 22, 25. That's not all of them, obviously, but that's a lot of them. The ascendant, 27, descendant, 27. Now, Venus, which represents Kiely, is forming a quincunx to Saturn, which is the physical body, in retrograde in the 10th house. So out in the open, something has happened. A change has occurred very quickly, which is the quincunx. It's a change. And her physical body is affected. Then we can move this along as well. 22 degrees of Aquarius, Saturn, which is the physical body, is then connected down to this Mars again. And Mars isn't always just a male. Mars also represents vehicles, the metal of a car. So was she put into the car by somebody else? It's possible. Was she put into the boot of the car, because the aspect here goes to the 12th house, which is the end of the car, the boot. So what I see as well is on the 3rd house cusp, which is her travelling in a vehicle, and that's Venus as well, that is in Cancer, so heading towards home. So that's is around this sort of area and the moon and that direction. I do feel as though she was heading, now whether it was back to the campground home or to her home, or wanted to go to that direction. That's probably more to the point, wanted to go in that area, that direction, but hasn't ended up in that direction, obviously. So driving the car seems to be on the way home. Now, I don't know if she was definitely driving the car or if somebody else was driving the car, but it's heading towards her house. So the other thing about the third house, and the vehicle is Mars, but travelling is Mercury. Mercury, again, it is in Virgo, so it's in its own sign as well, so it's strong, and it's in that 5th house of the party. So it's like, if we put these together, coming from the party, wanting to go home, but the position of her, Venus, 23, something has happened really quickly in between this period, I don't know, of not long at all, maybe half an hour or less, 10 minutes even. Something's happened where she cannot go home. So if we look at Mercury here and see that that's at 3 degrees, it's not forming anything too pivotal, except it's making an inconjunct to the MC in Aquarius, and then making a semi-sextile, so there to there and there to there, so to the end of the matter. Now the Sun is in Leo at the end of the matter, so that's showing us that she's most likely out in the open to see visibly. That, of course, is if this grand trine isn't too strong and the water, in fact, is where she is. It's a tricky one. There's a lot of water here. I do believe that they're going to find some things in the water, whether it's a vehicle, the phone, or some clothing or something like that. Or whether, and I'm leaning more towards that something suddenly happened with either alcohol or drugs, and there's been some sort of cover-up. And there's hundreds of people that could have covered it up, so I'm not naming names. I don't know any people. I'm not going to do that. But, yeah, so it's a complex chart. It's not a good one when you see Algol on the ascendant. Shows that she was, to me, it shows that she was really, really drunk. And that it's possible even that a person, maybe even an older person, this Saturn here, which is making that quincunx, has given her something that hasn't, she hasn't tolerated, her body hasn't tolerated. And all that goes back to this 6th house moon here. So let's have a look at the map. It's not huge at the moment, but people do know her, and some people might go, you know what, that's amazing because that goes through there and I know that area, or it might be helpful. Okay, here's the map. I'm going to zoom right in. Okay, so this was where the party was itself. That's the actual campground. And if we just go pretty close, sort of in this patch of woods here, around here. So there's little roads that go out. Hang on, let me zoom right out first. So first of all, this is the Venus line. So this is her line here. And the moon is this line down here. But we've actually got a wedge as well, which is I like to look at wedges. This line here is Mercury. So this line, which is this line here, goes straight through this body of water. So I thought, well, is that at all possible? And it looks to me as though it's definitely possible. I'm not 100% sure how you get over it from this area, whether you have to go round or whatnot. But there's a few interesting areas that just piqued my interest looking at it. And that's this area here called the Pits. I don't know whether that's a party place or not. And then this Prosser Creek area here, across the 80, and goes out to Juniper Creek. So that's the Venus line. I've gone 2.3 miles out this way for the ruler, Venus. That's this circle here. So I would actually think that she's within this circle. So we've got a few areas. Like I said, there's a wedge there. There's so many roads. We should also put Mars at 21 Taurus, so Taurus is 51. Oops. Okay, so that's Mars, which is the vehicle itself, which is interestingly going to another campground there. And let's see, where does that go through the water? Near the boat ramp. Okay. You know, I hope the guys that go out and find people in the water actually go and have a look. I've heard someone say that there's no way that she can be in this water, but I don't know about that. Especially when we look at this and see this heavy water trine. Like I said, the water trine can also represent the state of the victim being drunk, on drugs, etc., partying. So there's a couple of water areas that I would definitely be looking at, even just for evidence, and perhaps some addresses of friends maybe that live nearby. But what I'll do is I will leave this in the description. You can click on it and have a look, and if you have any questions or anything, let me know, and then we'll do a part 2 and look at a few more lines and see perhaps maybe if someone else has something to say. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and you'll hear from me again really soon. And by the way, everybody that's been emailing me, thank you. I've just been so busy that I haven't been able to answer everything, but all is well, and yeah, I appreciate all the kind words and emails and everything, so thank you so much, and I really hope that I'm wrong, and that they're going to find Kiely and she's okay, but unfortunately the chart doesn't look too great. So if anyone knows anything, please say something.